Welcome back to the show. This is Sharif, the guitar therapist from Guitar Garage.
This is Dusk from Figures. Welcome back to episode 1, guys.
Yeah, so we hope you enjoyed the pilot episode that we've done a couple of weeks back.
Yeah.
Again, just to very quickly recap, we want to inspire the youth, the beginners. We want to talk about gear, guitars, amps,
biographies.
Biographies of so the legends, the guitar heroes that we all love and we want to know more about. And as I said, this is a discussion. It's not about we're talking. Come back to the comments. Let's have this discussion. Yeah. So.
What do we have today?
So as you can see, we have a couple of pedals on the desk. We have this lovely guitar that we're going to try out. We have a couple of amps across different sizes, price tiers, options, whatever you call them.
Yeah.
We have a couple of guitars. Again, we're going to talk about a budget guitar.
Slightly higher.
Slightly higher budget guitar that's been modified that you can do. We're gonna move on to a little bit of a higher end guitar.
Yeah, and we're gonna show you the difference between the Les Paul and the organ.
Yeah, let's say we have a Les Paul, we have a Strat, we have a
Fender.
we have a Squire. So we're gonna discuss all this. Hey guys, this is the pedal section. So as we said, we're going to talk about a couple of pedals. I'm going to pick maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of these. This is what you can add into your signal chain before your amp, for example, to get a different tone. So for example, this is a Mojo, right? So this is a Mojo from TC Electronics. This is an overdrive pedal. If you want that bluesy, warm sound while you're soloing, this is really nice. I love that. I'm a sucker for TC Electronics. Okay, so this is my main go-to overdrive when I want to solo blues. All right. So yeah, this is recommended. The next one up is still an overdrive. It's from Boss. Okay. This is a little bit more of an aggressive overdrive. You can crank it up to distortion. Yeah. But again, a little bit, on a high-end note. It's not as warm as the Mojo, but again, a very solid built pedal. Again, you can use it for blues if you tone down the level a little bit. Tone down the tone a little bit. It will give you that nice overdrive sound. That's this little, let's say, this broken up sound. So not as warm as the Mojo, but again one of the most decent overdrive pedals that we have. The next one up is again one of my favorites. It's from Ibanez. This is the mini version. This is the Tube Screamer. So if you wanna like simulate a tube amp, a crank tube amp when it starts to overdrive your tubes, your preamp tubes. Again, this is one of the world's famous pedal. Okay, it comes in 2 sizes: the full size, like the Mojo, or the overdrive from Boss. But this is the mini version of it. Again, there's a lot of pedals, sizes, sounds. Each brand has their own sound signature. And that you can choose from. And when you go into a guitar shop, you try out a couple of pedals, overdrives, distortions, until you find that sound that you want. And that's something that you could add to your signal chain. Maybe later on down the line, you get a Tube Screamer. You can put an overdrive on it. And pedals are it's like a world, of sound. You have phasers, flangers, you have fuzz pedals, for example. This is a fuzz and an octaver. It's from a brand called Joyo. It's not a high-end brand, but again, it's very decent sounds. You have brands like Donner. I have a lot of Donner pedals, these MIDI pedals. I have delays, I have reverbs. This is like a mini fuzz. This is a compressor. Okay, this is one of the main pedals that you would need on a pedal amp, the compressor. Basically what it does is just compresses the sound into like a bandwidth of sounds, so it's not so when you're picking softly, it's not really soft, and if you really angry play, it's not really loud, so it just normalizes the volume. Again, over the episodes we're going to dive into details of certain types of pedals, maybe in a couple of episodes we'll assemble a pedal board and we're going to run it into a clean channel on one of the amps that we have, and then you can decide which direction you want. You want warm, you want a little bit high tone. If you want to simulate a tube amp, for example, like cranked out tube amp, which is a tube screamer, of course. And then we're going to go in details from in the rest of the pedals, maybe later on in the other sessions or the other episodes. All right. So again, we can design a very simple setup on a pedal board. An overdrive, a reverb, a delay. That's a very simple setup, and it will get the tone that you want. So more on this on further episodes.
Alright guys, next up we're gonna talk about amps. We have 3 different amps to show you with 3 different sizes and tonalities and price ranges. Firstly, we're gonna talk about this amp, the very small one. It comes with a backed guitar, and it's called, what do you call it?
It's a Frontman 10 watts. It's a 10 watt amp.
Yeah, made in Indonesia.
Yeah.
So, Sharif, you wanna explain us?
So basically, this is what we call a practice amp or a bedroom amp. It usually comes with the starter packs. It comes with a budget guitar and an amp all in one pack. It's a very simple, straightforward amp. So we've got like an input, we have a gain, we have a clean and overdrive channel, we have our volume, treble, bass, and an auxiliary in and headphones. If you want to plug in your mobile phone, backing track, you can do that and just put your headphones on, and an on and off switch.
Not a lot of controls.
Yeah, so it's pure basic, and again, as we discussed, for the beginners, that they start with this. You can add one of those pedals in front. You can add a reverb, you can add a delay, add more space and time to your sound, and then when you're comfortable, you move up to a bigger amp,
Exactly.
a more bigger digital amp. So that's what we're going to talk about next, yeah?
Next, yeah.
Alright?
Alright guys, now we have the Mustang. As you can very see clearly, it's a bigger amp. And also we have more buttons and more effects. Sharif.
Yeah. Alright.
Talk to us.
Yeah. So as you see from the Frontman, this is a step up, alright? Bigger speaker. It has a bigger speaker. It's like an 8-inch speaker inside, so it moves more air, gives you more clarity on sound. As you can see on the control panel, we have loads of stuff that we're going to go through. So for example, you have the input, it goes to the guitar. You have another input for a foot switch. So you have a foot switch next to you. You can switch between 2 sounds or 2 effects whenever you want to jump between them. The normal controls, which is the gain, volume, the treble, the bass, and the master volume. And here you can switch into different tones. So like, for example, here it has like the 57 Deluxe Fender amp, the 59 Bassman amp. So there's like more than 20-25 different amps that you can program. You just hook it up to your PC, and you can just like download more sounds to it.
And I can see something here, like a USB type of thing.
Yeah.
What is that?
So basically, if you want to download more effects, like amp models or let's say delays and other modulations, you just patch it to your PC. There's an app called Fender Fuse. So this is where you configure your amps and configure your sounds, and you can just save them from here. You have a tap button, and an on-off switch, and a auxiliary and phones. Again, this is not a practice amp. This is actually like a nice little jam amp, I can say. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it wasn't that expensive and it wasn't that cheap at the same time. So it's again, we can consider this an affordable amp. All right.
I'd say it's like a good 300-400 riyals. Don't you think?
No, probably
maybe more.
Yeah, a bit more. I think maybe in the 700 to the 800 riyal range.
Less than 1,000 at least.
Yeah, it's under 1,000 definitely. But again, as you've seen on the videos on my channel, for example, when we jam, you heard this. So very decent sound. It's a very nice upgrade from the Frontman. And probably later on in the show, you're going to hear this sound. Actually, we're going to do a couple of solos on it. I'm going to go through a couple of sounds, a couple of guitars, and also you know what the speaker is capable of. All right. So next up, we have the Fender, the GT100. I call it Big Boy. All right. So stay tuned. Coming back. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So we're at the bad boy now.
Yeah.
This is the Mustang GT100. This is a modeling amp, so it's not your typical amp that you buy in every store.
Yeah.
It has some very cool features, and you can also update it. So basically, this is not just one sound amp. You can do whatever you want, and it's Sharif's amp. So
Yeah.
I'll let Sharif explain to you the features of this beautiful bad boy.
So this bad boy, let's talk about. So this is a Fender Mustang GT100. Okay, it's one of the GT series. It starts with the GT40, which is 40 watt, and then a GT100, which is this one, which is 100 watt with a 12-inch Celestion speaker, and then you have the GT200, which is a twin speaker. It's a 200 watt amp. All of them run the same software. All of them, are the same. It's just basically sizes and how that they go. So if you just want to look at the controls quickly. Input, gain, volume, treble, middle, bass, reverb, and master volume. Okay, so that's your preamp section. This section is where all the magic happens. All right, this is the modeling section. So you have like 200 presets. You have so it models most on probably all the other Fender amps, like the Bassman, the Twin Deluxe, and all those Fender amps, and also it features models like Voxes, Victories.
So what you're saying, you can basically add more rigs.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So you can add not just amps, So
A full rig.
Yeah. So this is a Fender amp, but you can actually make it sound like a Marshall with a 4x12 greenback stack, for example. If you instead of having a pedal board, you can just add those to the signal chain, all kinds of pedals, and you actually can tweak the pedals.
Well, since you mentioned the signal chain, I think a lot of beginners don't know this kind of stuff. So would you care to explain a bit what is the rig terminate?
Yeah. So rig. Okay. So rig basically is like a speaker, a head amp, or an amp. Pedals on a pedal board. So that's like a sound. Let's say a sound chain.
Yeah.
Okay. With this amp, you don't really need a pedal board because you can add pedals through
virtually.
Virtual pedals, and then through the app and through here, you can tweak the pedal. You want more gain on the pedal, more volume, more wet and dry. It's got all the pedals that you want. Tube screamers, overdrives, distortions.
Gives you more room, more options.
100%. Yeah. Right, and then you can actually configure an amp, configure your signal chain. You can just save it to a preset, rename it. You can add effects, delete effects. You have menus and do all sorts of stuff. It's Bluetooth. All right, so you can stream backing track over Bluetooth.
This is a beautiful machine, my man.
Wi-Fi, so you can update your sounds. So for example, if you want to look for a sound signature, let's say for a specific guitar player.
Let's say David Gilmour.
Let's say David Gilmour, for example, when he solos the Shiny Crazy Diamond solo.
Yeah.
You go to the Fender community website where people just upload, signal chains that they've done.
Their own rigs. Yeah.
Or even artist signature sound chains.
Interesting.
You just download it, man, and then you're good to go.
And you have the tone.
And exactly. You have the tone.
So basically, how much is this again?
I remember I paid close to
around what?
2,000 riyals.
2,000. So basically, what Sharif is saying, my friends, with a 2,000 amp real, you can sound like a 10,000 rig.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Am I right?
Exactly, 100%. And as I said, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, update your stuff, update the amp, the firmware, and if we have a look at the back side. Yeah. Oh, that's heavy. All right. So on the back side, all right. So you have your AC in, on and off switch. You have a foot switch. You have a USB. You can connect it to your laptop. So you can record your stuff. You have ins and outs for effects loops. So, for example, if you have your favorite pedal board and you still want to use that, it gives you the option to run it through the amp.
More freedom.
Yeah, and also we have line outs, so you can actually, if you want to record, this is like a studio level amp.
Yeah.
You can just like plug it into your mixer, man, and start recording.
This is beautiful.
So yeah, so this,
I would recommend this.
Yeah,
to an intermediate.
I had this for over maybe 2 years.
And it's still going.
Yeah, no, this is the only amp I use, you know. This is my go-to everyday, you know, jamming amp. This is it, man.
And speaking of modulating amps, yeah, turn it over.
Yeah, man.
Let the people see.
Right.
And speaking of modulating amps, I have a really cool piece of gear I want to show you, but not today, not in today's episode. Let's make it in another episode.
Yeah, yeah. That top end one that you just got.
You will really enjoy this. You will really appreciate this review I'm gonna make with Sharif, and you just gotta stay tuned. Further episodes.
Yeah.
And what do we have next?
Well, so we're gonna review.
So we got the 3 amps.
Yeah, so we got the 3 amps. We got the very basic bedroom practice amp, and then we went to a digital amp with a little bit of modeling, you know, capabilities,
And this
and a full, you know, modeling studio recording amp, 100 watts. You know, it's plenty of power, beautiful sound. You know, there's no limitations. They didn't limit how you want to configure. You know, they give you an app. It's an amazing app. It's called Fender Tone. I can also still recommend the GT series or the GTX series. It's basically the new versions, but basically the same app. You know.
Very cool.
We're gonna move on to guitars.
I think we have guitars next.
Yeah, we got a couple of guitars that we want to show you. Again, budget, built, and a little bit of a higher end.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's the same segmentations basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's do that next. Alright guys, so this is actually the package that comes with the frontman, or the, let's say, the budget amp we reviewed a couple minutes ago, and this is the guitar that comes with it. This is an Indonesian Squier Fender, and I think this is the Sunburst finish.
Yep.
This is a beautiful guitar, a nice color, and we're gonna try it with the amp that comes with it.
Yeah, so it's basically, again, as we said, it's a pack, starter pack amp, frontman 10 watt amp. This is a total budget guitar. And yeah, so Mashari is going to solo, he's going to demo the amp on a quick solo. I'll fill it in, you know, with my Les Paul with the GT100, so you guys get to know, you know, the difference, alright? So we're ready to jam, dude?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay guys, so this is the same Squier, but the only difference is we've used it with the GT100. You can hear the sound, you can hear the difference. It's pretty amazing, honestly. It just gives it a whole new vibe as a whole new guitar, and it just sounds better, to be honest. My only issue, as I said before, the action is too high, but that's nothing to do with the guitar itself or the tonality of the guitar or the wood or the quality, if you wanna call it that. Now we're gonna try this one. This is the Mexican Strat. So this is a bit higher in price than the Squier, and they different wood. As you can see, the necks, this is a little bit yellow, this is a little bit white, but this all makes difference when you play the instrument, and we will demonstrate this now. And by the way, I love this back plates Sharif is adding. This is just awesome. And yeah, we're gonna try this with the GT100. And I hope you guys enjoy everything we do.
So you've heard a couple of sounds, you know, for the with Mashari, you know, with the budget guitar, with the budget amp, or with the budget guitar, with the GT100, the Mexican Strat. Now we're going to look at the Mustang 1 version 2. As we said, it's a digital amp with some modulation. You can hook up to your computer, configure a sound chain. This is my Les Paul. Okay, so it's an Epiphone. So I bought this. And I just stripped it out, fully customized from nut to bridge, tuners, everything, you know, Gibsonized. All right, so basically this is like how a Les Paul should sound, how it feels, and so this is my baby. All right, so we're gonna put it on backing track. I'm no pro, don't judge. Hey guys, so as you heard, this was a Mustang 1 version 2, little amp, a little bit of modulation, you can program it. This is my Les Paul, fully customized from nut to bridge, everything, electronics, pickups, tuners, nut, everything. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Let us know what you think and what you want in the next episode.
Yep.
Any last words else?
Share, subscribe, share the love, keep the comments flowing.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell, you know. And till next time, we're going to see you on the next one.
Rock on.